For almost 50 years, Fred West has been enjoying the thrill of freezing time with his powerful photographic images.
I do know that before World War II, I almost said World War I, but before World War II, I think I was experimenting in my basement with developing film and so forth, and I had no driving interest at that time. But when I came back from World War II in the 40s, I got the bug, and I'm not sure what caused it. I had a cousin who was a very successful photographer for the Milwaukee Journal, and some of what he did might have rubbed off on me. But in around 1950, I had developed a desire for the medium so much so that I decided to enroll at the Art Center College of Design in Los Angeles. And I submitted some work to them, and they accepted me, and I went to Los Angeles and enrolled and was with them for about a year, learning more than the basics, really. And I've been at it ever since. Now, at Art Center, the primary goal was advertising illustration. And it really didn't take me too long to realize that I didn't have the talent for that kind of creativity. So after I left Art Center, I deliberately shied away from commercial projects and did essentially what I'm doing now, which is landscapes and just general photography, that sort. My ability to produce really good prints has come to the fore in the last 10 or 15 years. Strange enough, technique is supposed to be the easiest thing to learn, and to me it was the hardest. And I've been producing good negatives all my life, but it was the print that was bothering me. And I found out that I was fighting the medium. I was attacking a print as though it's something that had to be manipulated every time I made an image. And I'm now finding that the negative speaks to me consistently. Hey, just make a print of me and everything's going to be fine, just straight print. So I've become very, very comfortable with black and white over the years. And as I say, it's been a long time, half a century. I don't see in color. I see in black and white. Well, I think capture is an appropriate word in the case of still photography, because what you're doing, of course, is freezing time. And I don't know what causes me to make a photograph of something, but there's something that clicks when I see a photograph to be made. And I go out and look for them. It's like Edison's old adage, it's 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration. So I will go out looking for things that somehow give me a charge and make me want to photograph. And in no way do I succeed 100% of the time. But I feel that if I succeed that 1% that Edison was talking about, I'm not doing too badly at all. So it's some sort of a driving compulsion that gets me to keep on doing this. And if you've seen my work, you've seen enough of it, not only these things that are on the wall, but our private showing, so that you realize that my interest is fairly narrow. It's mostly a thing. I'm interested mostly in things, very, very few people shots. But I do have some, including the one up here, the Brazilian Indian, which give me a charge. But I don't know what causes it. It's just something that clicks. I came here from California, Los Angeles area, which is hardly rural, and a lot of my photography there was architectural type things. But when I moved originally to Mississippi and now to Alabama, I found a whole different outlook. And I go out looking for photographs in the rural areas, in the countrysides, on the dirt roads. I carry a stack of county maps with me, and right now I have county maps of probably 65 or 70% of the counties in Alabama. My trips are usually 1 day in length at the most, Sometimes I'll go 2 or 3 days, but usually one day. So that pretty well limits me to roughly west central Alabama in scope, okay? But sometimes I don't have to go that far. I have found that there's a multitude of things to shoot in Mobile County. When we think of Mobile County, we might be thinking of Mobile itself, but there's a lot of rural environment in the northern part of this county in particular. So that's where I go out looking for photographs. I like the antiquity. I like to preserve the antiquity, the old churches, the old country stores, things of that nature. And I make a point to go out looking for them. I didn't know a thing about photography, and I started out with a simple camera, twin lens reflex camera, which isn't even made anymore, that particular model. And I went to the Milwaukee Public Library and I got everything I could read on photography. And at first it was primarily the nuts and bolts. How do you make the exposure? How do you develop the film and so forth? And gradually you branch out and you find out that there are also books in the library which contain some fine images by master photographers, and you can study them and see what they've done. I'm surprised you haven't asked me, or maybe it's coming, who influences you? And I guess the father of all of us, the kind of thing I do was Ansel Adams, who incidentally was first and foremost a commercial photographer, but he was also the first art photographer to become a millionaire. The first one, and his estate I'm sure is worth several millions now. But he taught many of us just about all we need to know to go out and produce images and get the feel of photography. But I would recommend anybody who's interested to start with the public library and take whatever courses they can locally. And if they really want to get into it seriously, and especially if they want to get into it commercially, there are several fine schools. Rochester Institute in New York, the Rhode Island School of Design, Art Center in California, Brooks in California, any number of places where they can learn the craft of